Oh, you caught me sleeping. Just had to share the old post to the old Facebook, the Book of Face. All right, folks, welcome back. This is U.S. Home Talk. We are live every Wednesday, noon Central Standard Time. Of course, you can catch us on all of the streaming platforms later in the week. I think most of our viewers are downloading or watching later. So however you tune in, whether it's live or later, we do appreciate you guys checking out the show. USHometalk.com. You can find all of our past shows on our website. Connect directly with Marcus, myself, Evan, Mortgage Mike Overson, all of our fantastic partners. Really anything and everything real estate related we've got on our website. So be sure to check it out. All of your housing, real estate, financing needs, you're going to find that at USHometalk.com. I'm your host today, Jason Walgrave with Walgrave Real Estate Group and the Minnesota Real Estate Team at RE/MAX Advantage Plus. We've got the great Marcus Walgrave with Hague Realtors out of the Sioux Empire, Sioux Falls, South Dakota real estate market. We've got, I guess we don't have Mike Overson right now. Mortgage Mike, he was in a meeting. He says he's running late, so he'll probably, show up towards the middle or the end to really give some really, really deep thoughts on real estate and financing. We're really looking forward to that. Thank you, Mike. And then we do have the great Evan Little, our producer, the man who, quite frankly, if it wasn't for Evan, we would not have a show. I can stumble through the buttons once in a while when Evan is unavailable, which is only a couple times a year, although I think it's been 3 times in the last 12 months. He is also our great insurance guru as well. So phone lines are open. We've got a text line during the show. You can text in your questions at 612-234-7585. Any and all real estate questions, text into that number, 612-234-7585. That is also our 24-hour real estate hotline number. You can call that number anytime. Connect with myself, Marcus, Evan, Mike, and all of our fantastic all of your real estate questions. During the show, you can also ask questions in the comment section on Facebook and YouTube, because that is where we are live. All right. Moving's not fun. Moving can be incredibly stressful. They say that when you buy or sell a home and you have to move, that whole process, one of the top 4 most stressful life events that you can experience. And so today we're going to talk about some tips to make moving easier. So tips to make moving easier. Of course, if you just bought a home, you're excited. If you've just sold your home, you're probably also excited. Maybe you're buying another one. And then comes kind of the most stressful part of it, which is the actual moving. So today we're talking about tips to make moving easier. First one, we've got pack items you'll need in your new home immediately into a clear plastic tote. Think about what you'll need as soon as you arrive at your new house. Things like box cutter, furniture assembly tools, trash bags, kitchenware for one meal, etc. Pack them first and make them easily accessible. I think that's really important because you're moving all your stuff in, whether you've got movers helping you or you've got you got the friends and family helping you. There's just so much going on, but there's some essentials you're going to need. Pretty unlikely you're going to be moved and unpacked and all in one day. So having some of those essential items readily available in a clear plastic tote will help that transition to the new house a little bit easier for you.
Box cutter, furniture assembling tools. I think that those are the top for me personally. I think that those are some of the items where when you get there, even if you are having your, like you said, friends or family help you with your move, or you're hiring professional movers. I mean, professional movers, they have an a la carte. They can do anything and everything from literally taking the clothes within your closet and putting them in the box, or they can just simply move the boxes that you already have packed. But nonetheless, when you do get into your own new home, you do kind of like to kind of keep that ball rolling, right? You know, the momentum's on your side in your favor, and you can kind of start making the rooms come to life. And if you have those things readily available, you'll be surprised how fast you can get unpacked.
Folks, this is U.S. Home Talk. Today, Marcus and I are talking about tips to make moving easier. Next on our list, hire a sitter. If you have children or pets, hire a sitter. Otherwise, just think about how much longer it's going to take to move the things and organize. I mean, we have a few kids between us. We love our children dearly, but sometimes it takes longer when they're involved.
Sometimes.
So sometimes, most of the time, which, there's some life lessons in that, so not all bad. But when you're talking about moving and making moving easier, it's probably going to help you out quite a bit if you hire a sitter. Not only for the kids, but for the pets too. Pets, a lot of times, they've got this anxiety that first, couple weeks in the new house. They're wondering what's going on, man. This isn't my house. This isn't, they're feeling weird. So a pet that's stressed out and can just make it take a little bit longer and make it harder to make that move. So,
yeah, you kind of think about that sitter too, Jason, and you just think about how often, somebody might have a little accident or a spill. They're trying to get some lunch, and now you're like, okay, I have to clean the spill, even though I got people coming in and out of this hallway. You have to do that, so you're kind of slowing things down. Also, you're if you do have friends and family that are helping you, they're probably only available for a couple hours. If you're hiring professionals, well, they're on the clock. So in terms of like, yes, hiring a sitter means that it's going to cost some money. Nobody's arguing that. There is some money involved in there, but likely you'll save some money by being able to be more efficient during your move.
We're talking about making moving easier. Next on our list is pack breakables with clothing. So both items need to be packed. Packing them together saves storage space and prevents breakables from breaking during the move. It's a great idea. T-shirts, bed sheets, blankets. They can be a good packing insulator to protect those breakables for you.
Save some money. You don't have to spend any of the money on the bubble wrap or the little foam chunks, and you already have plenty of clothes to use that for.
Folks talking about tips to making moving easier. This one I really like this next one, Marcus, because I do this. I do this often, actually. Photograph the back of your electronics. So I'm talking about computers, TVs, your receivers. Good grief. There's a lot of things plugged into a lot of things. Whenever I'm working on, look, everybody knows I'm not very handy, right? So let's just remind everybody I'm not very handy. So if something goes wrong, I'll give you an example. So I got those little electric motorcycles, right? And the boys like to, either slam on the brakes or burn rubber, whatever they're doing. They're going through tires. And so I'll have to, once in a while, I've got to replace the tire, right? And a tire and tube or tube. Well, in order to do that, you got to take off the whole wheel and, on the chain and the whole deal, right? So what I do is I get my phone out, my camera out, and I'm taking pictures of, like the steps of taking it apart. And then when it's all apart and I get the new tire on, go back to my pictures so I know how to put it back together. So same thing with your electronics. I mean, my wife Liz is much more technologically advanced than I am, so she could probably just figure out how to put the TV and receivers all back together. I need that picture so that it gets done right.
It's a nice little life hack. I mean, it's not just for moving, from one house to another. We all like to change rooms up. Or move your entertainment wall from one wall to another wall, and so this is a tip that can work throughout life. Great little hack.
Yeah, I love it, folks. This is U.S. Home Talk. We're live. We're talking about tips to making moving easier. Next on our list, label boxes. You think this one would be obvious, but it's on here. Label boxes. List the items in each box and write the room they will go into on the outside of the box. Use color codes for easy identification. It's a great idea. I think that this one gets missed.
Oh
You
my
just
gosh.
pack it all up.
I feel like it's a male miss too. I think
Yeah.
the first move that I did with my wife Caitlin, that's what she had labels and markers out, and I kind of balked at it. I was like, is that necessary? Do we really need to just put, we know what's in the box, and then as soon as we got to where we were moving, it was just box goes there, box goes there, box goes there. This goes there. Then where everything's at, or kind of like you said earlier in the show about having some of those clear totes, so you can look inside of them. Whether you want to maybe bring some of that, have a light lunch, sandwiches or whatever, cold lunch at your new home, being able to know where the plates are or the paper plates or whatever it might be. Again, just these tips are allowing you to be super efficient, save time. It's already somewhat of mostly a stressful event anyway, so if you can kind of reduce how long it takes, it's going to be a more enjoyable process.
Folks, you're listening to U.S. Home Talk. We're live every Wednesday at noon Central Time. Be sure to check out our website, ushometalk.com. Today we're talking about making moving easier. You can text in your questions to our text line, which is 612-234-7585. Text your questions during the show. That's also our 24-hour real estate hotline number. You can call or text anytime. You can also ask questions in the comment section on Facebook and YouTube during the show, and we'll get those answered for you right away. Making moving easier. Next on our list, use plastic wrap for open containers. So wrap your open bottles, such as shampoo and dishwashing liquid, with plastic wrap. Then put the lid back on them so they won't spill and ruin your belongings. I mean, this is a great one. We do this sometimes when we're traveling.
Yeah,
if we've got
good point.
Plastic bags, or wrap them in plastic wrap so they don't explode and ruin all the clothes. But works really well for moving and making moving easier.
It acts like
here's
plumber's
another
tape,
good one.
right? I mean, that's
Yes.
the reason why when you're putting a new plumbing fixture, in your bathroom tub or whatever, maybe a new shower head, to wrap that thread with the real thin plumber's tape. The concept behind it is that once you put the shower head on, it's going to seal tighter, and then you're going to prevent the leaks. Same thing with this. But we've all had this experience, right? Where you did either travel, maybe you had a 10-day traveling event or a couple week, whatever it might be, or a move, and then you get into where you're going, and the whole soap or the whole shampoo or the whole dish detergent came undone or just leaked, and then you have this incredible mess. And that stuff isn't like, you can't just like throw it in the wash. I mean, you can, but you're gonna create another mess because there's just so much soap volume in there. So I mean, it's kind of like you almost have to get the soap out in your sink before you throw it in the washer. And just a nice little tip there.
So plumber's tape, I thought you were supposed to use super glue and duct tape to get those things put on.
Yeah, no, yeah, maybe, I guess that might work. Good luck getting it off if it is super glue.
Evan, can you confirm that's the right way to do that?
The right way to do what?
Install plumbing fixtures. Instead of using plumber tape, use super glue and duct tape to make sure it's...
Oh, yeah. Super glue's pretty good, but I prefer just straight up Elmer's glue. That slow bond is really, really great and flexible.
Good old Elmer.
Busting out the old JB Weld next then, huh?
Oh, the JV Weld. Yes, Dad loves that stuff. Making moving easier. That's what we're talking about. Next on our list, take pictures of your living space. If you're a renter and you want your deposit back, take pictures of the old home after moving out and your new home before moving your stuff in. Great idea. Take pictures of the space, or maybe just for like rearranging. It's amazing when you're moving an entire house and all of its contents, how much you forget about what goes where.
Yeah, a couple good things to take from that, Jason. Right? We first talked about the renter. And if you have a good landlord, they're going to have a similar process, a move-in process where they give you a sheet, and you can kind of mark down the the blemishes that are there, before you move in. So then when you move out, you can say, well, obviously I didn't do this. It was on the sheet, but it doesn't hurt to kind of take it next level. I mean, our smartphones, those cameras are so fancy. They're high def. And so you can just go ahead and take pictures and or video. I think that's, a lot of our devices are uploaded into the cloud. So we're not, you're not really concerned about, using up all your memory on a couple of videos. You can just go ahead and take some videos and delete it, when the time comes. But great for renters, definitely going to help you retain more of that security deposit. And then just like you said, Jason, just simply a lot of us, especially me, I mean, I kind of like where my furniture is at, and it doesn't really matter where I go. It's probably going to need to be in a similar position, for me to feel comfortable and make it feel like home very quickly. So that's a great example where, it's always surprising where you come in your house day in and day out, or your home day in and day out, and you're like, oh yeah, I would never forget where you put things. And then you get into in an open space, like a new home, a new house, and you're like, man, how did we have this set up again? I was like, we just lived there for like 10 years, and now all of a sudden one day, 12 hours later, you forgot how your living room is set up. So,
right. Folks, we're talking about making moving easier next on our list. If you have things to sell, if you have valuable items to sell them well in advance. Be sure to sell valuable items you aren't giving away at least 2 months in advance. Things might not sell right away. I think moving gives you the opportunity to do what I call the great purge. And whether it's donating stuff or giving stuff away or selling stuff, start that process a couple months prior. Get through those things. It's if you don't need to move it, don't move it, right? And so if you're going to do those things, start well in advance, a couple months at least.
it definitely seems like the expensive items are heavy too. So it's kind of like the two birds, one stone. Like you don't really want to have to move that really heavy recliner that has 4 motors in it and 17 mechanisms to lean back and
pounds.
recline and adjust your head and your toes and whatever it can do and give you a back massage. You're exactly right. I mean, you're talking a lot of pounds. So it's like, hey, if you could sell it, it may not fit in your new home anyways. And you get that great purge, like you said, but then you may be able to make some money. And the 2 month is important, right? We all do this. You buy a piece of furniture, you take care of it. It's only a couple years old, and when it's time to sell, you're like, you know what? This thing's like brand new. I want at least 90% of what I got or what I paid for it. It's just like a human nature. It's like it's in great condition. There's no stains, there's no tears, nothing's wrong with it. There's no reason why somebody doesn't think that this is a steal at 10% less than what I paid for it. So the reason why you need 2 months is because you are going to overprice your stuff and you just need to have time to realize that it is overpriced, get it to the right price, and then it'll start moving.
Well, welcome to the show, Mortgage Michael Overson with Luminate Home Loans. It's good to see you. We're done, but it's good that
Well, long time listener, first time caller.
We're taking a take in for the outro.
The outro.
perfect.
We got 3 left, Overson, just in time for your comments on these 3.
Oh, well, I'm sure I got enough hot air over here. I can make this last another good 20, 30 minutes if you guys want it to.
That is true right there. That is true. All right, folks, you're listening to U.S. Home Talk. Jason Walgrave here with Mike Overson, Marcus Walgrave. Best way to get hold of us anytime during the week, of course, is our website, ushometalk.com. Today we're talking about making moving easier. Next on our list, use sandwich bags. Drop nails, screws, and other small items into sandwich bags. Keep them and tape them to the items that they will go with, so you won't get lost. So this one I've used quite a bit. And so let's say you've got to take a bed frame apart. or any type of furniture. If you're taking it apart, there's usually screws and bolts, and there's pieces to it. I'll put that in a bag, plastic bag, sandwich bag, for example, and then I will tape that to one of the pieces of furniture. And so it's an easy way to keep all of those pieces together, so that when you are reassembling, you know where they're at, easy to access, and then you don't lose them.
I think that sounds great.
That's it. That's all you have to say. I was waiting for some long, beautiful response. That sounds great.
Tape is a great idea. Tape's a great idea. I think if you want to take it to the next level, use saran wrap. Then you don't have to fight with the tape when you get to the new home. You kind of just saran wrap it around a post, whatever it might be. We all know that when you buy something like online, it gets delivered in the box and you have to assemble it. That's kind of what they do. And, they stay away from the tape, but they do wrap it around something so it's on there. A super easy thing to do. Kind of reminds me of back in the day, in sports where you need to get that ice bag wrapped onto a hamstring. That saran wrap is just real convenient. It's fast. Yep. You can wrap it on, goes on quick, comes off easy, and you're good to go.
Next on our list of making moving easier, a couple weeks before you're scheduled to move, call into the utility companies, change your address. Do these things ahead of time. Sometimes they can. The companies they're on it, and sometimes it take a few days to get that in place. And so, plan ahead. A couple weeks out is when they're recommending to change those items over. You can of course let them know when you're moving, but just kind of get it done. It'll make that moving easier on the day of. Folks, we're talking about making moving easier. Last one on our list, and this one's great. I mean, we use a service like this a couple times a year. Have charity organizations pick up your donations. Call them a couple weeks before you move. So we use there's a vets one that we use, and it's great. You go online, you schedule the pickup. They come and you put everything at the end of your driveway, whether it's clothes or whatever you're donating, and then they just come and get it. And so that's, you can always, go to places like Goodwill and drop stuff off on your own. But, if there's a bunch of them out there that will come to you and pick up those items, start working on that a couple months beforehand as well. Have it scheduled so they're picking that up. The less stuff that you have to move, it makes for an easier move all around.
We like to use Furniture Mission.
Another one too that I don't know if you guys.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, go ahead. Go, Marcus.
I think mine must have a little delay. It seems like every time I finish,
it's not you, it's those two. They both their internet is on the fritz there.
Thank you, Evan. Come on, Jason and Mike. Get your internet figured out. So what I was saying was, we like to use Furniture Mission here in Sioux Falls. It's a great nonprofit entity, and just talks about how many Sioux Falls homes, the market that I service, don't have things like beds for their children. And so, getting those opportunities to get in there and to get that going for the families and that need stuff like that, great opportunity to give back to your community.
Jason, you still running internet through that fax line? Still got dial-up? Is that what's happening over there? One of the things that I've always used in the past that seems to help making move easier is pizza and Miller Lite, right? Invite some friends over. Hey, I got some pizza and some beer over here. You guys want to come over and hang out for a little bit? Sure, yeah, we'll come over and hang out. Oh, while you're here, why don't you help me move this stuff? Mm-hmm. Seems to work pretty good.
That's always, that's always a good way. It works really good.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's if you are getting some help, make sure you feed them. Make sure they stay hydrated, and everybody's going to be happier at the end of the day.
Yep.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed tips to making your moving easier. We appreciate however you tune in, whether it's live during the show or later in the week. This has been U.S. Home Talk. Check out our website, ushometalk.com. Jason Walgrave here, Marcus Walgrave, Mortgage Michael Overson, and Evan Little. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next week.